Okay, well, I decided to do a Lamb of God ranking and review their new one. It's a self-title. Let's not waste any time. Lamb of God is one of my favorite bands. I got into them when I was first getting into the genre, and well, as you would know, their more popular albums are the ones that I kind of like. And realized that I have a bad sinus infection, so this is going to be really hard for me to do. I might stutter. I may actually need to take a drink in the middle of this. It just really sucks, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm not going to put the video off just because I got a little bit of a sniffle. But let's start it out with number 7. You're probably asking why at number 7 and why not at number 8. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that sometimes I can't decide between two albums, so I have to put them both at the same level, and so they're tied at the point. So as we get into it, number 7, or my least favorite of the Lamb of God discography, is Sturm und Drang, or however you say it. It's number 7. It says number 7 on the front of it with the weird, I don't even know what language that is. I think it probably is German. Really, I don't see anything that sticks out. I don't really see any, like, good tracks on here. It's more like the time where they tried to change their style up, and it really didn't work for them. This is their second last album that came out. It came out in 2015. I did see the Lamb of God on tour with Slayer, Anthrax, Behemoth, and Testament. One of Slayer's final farewell tours with different bands. Oh my God, it's horrible, horrible. My sinus infection is horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Sorry about that. I have to do that, or well, it hurts. Number 6, or oh shit. Yep, I need to take a drink. This video is gonna be hard for me to get through. Number 6, or my second least favorite one of their albums, is 2000's New American Gospel. Their first album under the name Lamb of God. If you didn't know, they did an album before that under the name Burn the Priest. They decided to change the name. I am not putting the Burn the Priest albums on here. The best one on here is probably Black Label and Pariah. There's some this album is not that bad. It's actually pretty good. It's probably like a 7 out of 10. The other one's a 4 out of 10. Really nothing desirable on number 7. Number 7 is at number 7, so that's kind of weird. Really just a couple standout tracks on the New American Gospel. The production is like old style black metal almost, where it's the guitars are really heady, but the vocals are really terrible. And that's what kind of brings it down. And let's go to number 5, one that I actually have a copy of. Another one I have a copy of, because you know I have a copy of the number 7 as well. I found that one in a bin, whatever, one of the flea markets. This one is As the Palaces Burn, their second release under this name. Best one on here, 11th Hour. Boot Scraper's also really good. Ruin, As the Palaces Burn, For Your Malice. Vigil's good. Like, mostly everything on here is good. It's like maybe a 85 or a 8.5 out of 10. it's a pretty big step up from their New American Gospel. Vocals are a whole lot better on this one. And that brings us to number 4, which is 2009's Wrath. The Passing. Is that what it's called? Yeah. In Your Words, Set to Fail. About 90 out of 10. Or no, 90 out of 100. Or 9 out of 10. Yeah. Just, this album's killer. It's just the problem is that, well, there's a whole lot better albums in their discography. Really not anything left to say about this one. It is heavy, of course. This band is known for being pretty heavy. The groove metal is like usually way more heavy than just normal thrash metal. Like thrash metal evolved into groove metal, and groove metal kind of went like it kind of went into like metalcore. Don't get mad at me for saying that, but it kind of does, like in a sense. They decided to take the groove metal elements and combine it with punk vocals, and that's what really metalcore is almost. Number 3, or my third favorite, is Resolution. Desolation, Ghost Walking, The Undertone, number 6, Barbarossa, Invictus, Cheated. A lot of good songs. Like, actually, pretty damn good of an album for 2011 or 2012. Sorry about that. Yeah, pretty good album for 2012. And really nothing else to say about that album. Number 2 is where the tie happens. I'll show you the first one for number 2. This one's usually people's number 1, his favorite. Ashes of the Wake. Laid to Rest, Hourglass. This album is perfect. It's just the album above it is just better than this, in my opinion. Murdos, good. Blood of the Scribe, really good. A lot of good. This album is a classic almost. Compared to in the 2000s era, is like this album's a classic. Now You Got Something to Die For is another good one on here. Remorses for the Dead, cool little thing behind that. I really do like the lyrics of that, or it's like the spoken word lyrics sometimes on here. So yeah, that's Ashes of the Wake. Go check this album out. It's pretty good. You get into it, and then we go to the second one of the tie, which is the new self-title. I listened to it once. I like it. It's actually, it is better than half of their discography right now. It's pretty damn good. I consider it. It did get 100. It is 100 out of 100. The whole album is just heavy all the way through. It's got good vocals. It's got a good. It's got pretty good lyrics for what I could hear at the first listen. It hooked me with the first listen. That's the thing. Usually albums don't hook you with the first listen. Usually you have to listen to them a few more times, but this one hooked me first listen. New Colossal Hate's probably the best one on here, in my opinion. On the Hook is awesome. Like, that song is awesome. Bloodshot Eyes is a little bit on the I don't know side, but I think the other parts of the album kind of make up for some of the slower, or not slower. Poison Dream with Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed. That's Their collaboration with Jamie Josta from Hatebreed on this song is awesome. Routes with Chuck Billy from Testament, another great band. Definitely a great song with Chuck Billy on that song. Memento Mori to start the album out is awesome. Checkmate's awesome. There's really nothing bad on this album. Very strong album. I recommend checking this one out if you haven't. And that leaves us with the number one, or my favorite one, and it always has been my favorite one. You probably already know what it is. Sacrament from 2006. Walk with Me in Hell, Again We Rise, Redneck, Pathetic, Foot to the Throat, Descending, Black and the Cursed Sun, Forgotten, Los Angeles, Requiem. Requiem is awesome. Great song. I think they played it live when I seen them. More Time to Kill, Beating on Death's Door. This album is perfect, beyond perfect, and it is definitely better than the other ones that are perfect. They started off with Walk With Me in Hell, which has been a staple of their live shows. Again We Rise, kind of gets into a little bit of, it's heavy. And then Redneck, their classic song Redneck. Pathetic, another classic song. This album is full of all classic songs from this band, and there's nothing bad on this album. It's perfect all the way through. I love every time I listen to it. I never disliked mostly any of their albums. I don't really dislike number 7 either. It's just not as strong as the other ones. It's kind of like the outlier in the matter. So that's how I rank Lamb of God. One of the bands that I have listened to since, like, forever. Not since Burn the Priest days, of course. I wasn't even born then. But I was a high school kid just listening to Overkill and all the old stuff, and then I came across, Overkill came across Sevenfold, and from Sevenfold I went up, seen a song, it was called Laid to Rest, listened to it, and I just got hooked. Just couldn't stop listening to their albums. It was before number 7 came out, so I didn't know about it. I think it was like when just as Resolution was coming out. So yeah, I'm gonna have a new setup. I'm gonna have a brand new setup next video. I'm going to probably do a Motorhead ranking, and after that we're gonna switch over to Death Metal Month, which is July. I consider it Death Metal Month. Oh, it's summer. It's July. I want to go listen to some death metal. Well, that's what's gonna be. I'm gonna do all death metal that whole month. Every ranking that's going to be on the channel is going to be death metal. And the other ones like essential death metal stuff, that also will be on the channel. Hopefully, if I have time, with how it's looking right now, yes, I will have time to do it. I got a whole new setup going on. I got a whole new computer going to be set up, that stuff. So, that's where I'm going to end it. I don't want it to be a 15-minute video. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be Motorhead, and I'm going to sign off.